So we'll talk today about the COPD and the coronary artery disease. Both are more or less same or the two sides of the one coin. I think this is the best way to prevent smoking if we advertise this way. And it is true though, actually there are data to support this one. So I have this case and I would like your participation. I have this 60-year-old guy who has a shortness of breath and chest pain. He has intermittent chest pain. He has 35 pack year smoking history. His heart rate is 85, blood pressure is slightly elevated, 150 or 95, respiratory rate is 18, the pulse ox is 90% on room air. His stress test was done, it was positive for the ischemic changes. Cath was done showing the 90% obstruction of LAD. Stenting is being considered. He was started on the medical management with the aspirin and the statins. PFT did show severe obstruction, which was compatible with COPD with 35 pack year smoking history. So I have a question for you guys. Which of the following is true regarding our patient? A, patient should be started on home oxygen. B, heart disease in the patient with a COPD has no impact on outcome. Metoprolol can cause bronchospasm and further reduction of the FEV1. Metoprolol can be considered for the CAD and hypertension. Only how many people voted? Everybody voted for B? I think the correct answer is actually D. Metoprolol can be considered, and let me show you one by one all the options which is correct and why. So the first concern is that patient should be started on home oxygen. I think none of you guys actually selected, which is very nice. As we know that the people who have a PaO2 between less than 55 or SpO2 less than 88 are the people who will require home oxygen. And in a NET trial or the National Emphysema Treatment Trial and the LOT trial, the long-term oxygen treatment trial, when the people use oxygen for more than 16 hours a day, got the benefit in mortality. Now if the people have a PaO2 between 55 to 59 or SpO2 between 88 to 92, they need additional qualifier, for example, P-pulmonale or the core pulmonale or the CHF, polycythemia, then they are going to get benefit from the home oxygen therapy. Our patient did not have any of those things and his saturation was 90%. I did not give you the values of the ABG, but assuming the PaO2 is more than 60, he doesn't require home oxygen, so that option was incorrect. Second option is that the heart disease in patient with COPD has no impact on the outcome. I think a lot of you guys have chosen this one, but let me show you the data where the relationship of the COPD and the CAD comes together. For example, this was a study done several years ago and they checked the coronary artery calcium score, which can be, it doesn't work here I guess, looks like, which can be measured as a Augustin score. The people who have the COPD, smokers and non-smokers. You can see that the people with the COPD are a significant high level of the calciums in the coronary, and this is a graph showing that the people who have a high calcium score actually had a more mortality over the period of time. What about the COPD and MI? I think it is very well known that the patient with a COPD, they eventually die because of the MI. All of you guys probably have seen that, and the Valiant trial showed that there is a significant increase mortality in the patient who has COPD versus the people who did not have a COPD, in spite of adjusting for the smoking years, in spite of adjusting for the all other risk factors. So the COPD and the MI is more, COPD and mortality is more. In the Eclipse trial, you can see that actually every single coronary artery disease or every single heart domain, they were significantly increased in the patient who has COPD. For example, here you can see these are this pink or red bars are the COPD, these are the smokers and these are the non-smokers. So heart trouble in general, like random heart trouble, hypertension, angina, heart attack, stroke, heart failure, arrhythmias and hypertension, everything was much more compared to the people who did not have a COPD or the people who are completely normal. Again, the COPD and heart disease have a significant mortality, the people who have a COPD. So I think the COPD is actually one of the very important independent factor for the patient who have a heart failure or the mortality. Same thing happened with the people who have a COPD and heart failure alone. For example, this is a COPD as a diagnosis, not proven by the GOLD guidelines. So COPD and COPD with heart failure had a more mortality. These are the two last graphs. COPD according to the GOLD guidelines, meaning by FEV1 FVC ratio was below 70, and the COPD with a GOLD guideline and heart failure. So the more mortality was always there, even in a subgroup of the patient who has a heart failure. Third option was that metoprolol can cause bronchospasm and further reduction of FEV1. How many of you guys believe that this is true? This is what been taught to us when we were in a medical school, by the way, right? When we used to read the Satoskar, our, the pharmacology textbook, and the contraindication, this is one of the absolute contraindication that the people with a COPD or asthma should not be given beta blocker, especially even a cardioselective beta blocker. And this is a common teaching, I guess, even in United States or anywhere I have seen. People have a strong belief that the people with a COPD should not be given a beta blocker. So let me show you the very interesting data. This was actually a meta-analysis of almost 22 studies. 11 studies has checked the effect of the metoprolol or the cardioselective beta blocker as a one dose pre and post FEV1. And another 11 studies have checked the effect of long-standing beta blocker up to 8 to 12 weeks. So the people got a PFT before beta blocker, people got a PFT after beta blocker, and what did they find in the meta-analysis? That FEV1 does not go down, very important part. There was absolutely no significant reduction in the FEV1. Patients' respiratory symptoms, they did not change. So nobody actually complained of a shortness of breath or wheezing. The effect of the beta agonists like albuterol or the salbutamol actually had no difference even if they had a placebo or the metoprolol. Same way in a subgroup analysis for the people who had an obstruction, for example, asthma or COPD, there was no difference. And same way the people who have a cardiovascular disease, there was no difference between the placebo and the beta blockers. So I think we should definitely now change our consideration that the beta blockers are contraindicated in the patient who has a COPD or the asthma. That part is completely old. I guess the best option is probably the last option. The metoprolol can be considered for the CAD and hypertension. I would like to specify this statement. I have intentionally kept here for coronary artery disease and or hypertension. So, and I will show you some data. For example, beta blockers, they reduce the mortality. So in this study, you can see that this one doesn't work, but you can see that the people who were on a beta blocker versus who are not on beta blockers, there was an advantage of the survival. Another study also showed that the in-hospital mortality was significantly reduced if the people were on a beta blockers. I have still one more clarification to make after I show you this data. For example, this is a meta-analysis for the people who have an acute exacerbation of COPD, coronary artery disease, heart failure, and hypertension. And you can see that the people who were on a beta blockers, their overall mortality was significantly better, unadjusted. Even adjusted mortality was slightly better. So not significantly better, but slightly better mortality. Again, these are retrospective data, so the value of the data is always little less. People who have a COPD and acute exacerbation. So here you can see that the people who have just COPD or a stable COPD, these are the people who have an acute exacerbation of COPD. Those who were on a beta blocker versus those, even in this case or this case, the both side, the people who were on a beta blocker had important reduction in the mortality. Now, I would like to highlight the statement which I highlighted before, that the patients, all these people did get a benefit if they had a coronary artery disease or a hypertension or a heart failure. Meaning by the indication for the beta blockers was present. COPD itself is not an indication for the beta blocker therapy. So this is one of the study published just last month in December, is known as a block COPD trial. Based on the available data, people thought that let's give the beta blockers to the patient who has a pure COPD. So the people who were on a beta blockers for any cardiovascular indications, they were excluded in this particular study. So these are the people who only have a COPD and nothing else. This is a randomized controlled trial of the metoprolol versus placebo, almost a year-long follow-up. The main people they were included had a moderate to severe obstruction on a PFT. Also, half of the patients were on a home oxygen therapy. Another half of the patients actually had increased exacerbations in the previous years. So these are the patients who were high risk of the increased exacerbations. They were given metoprolol on one arm and the placebo on the other arm, and then they were followed for the exacerbation. what they found, in fact, these people were given beta blockers, there is actually increased COPD exacerbations with beta blockers. Completely contradictory finding which I just showed you. This trial was actually stopped early because the people, because of a safety concerns, because the beta blockers did cause more exacerbations rather than the placebo. So what I said before, that the beta blockers might have a less exacerbations or less mortality, provided they have a cardiovascular indication of beta blocker. So you should not give a beta blocker just for the sake of the giving beta blocker to the patient who do not have any cardiovascular indication. Otherwise, they are not going to get any benefit. So in conclusion or in a summary, CAD and COPD are two sides of one coin. I think I am not surprised at all, because the common denominator is smoking. If a person has so much smoking history which can cause COPD, probably it can cause revealed or unrevealed CAD. Second, the beta blockers are not contraindicated if they are indicated for a cardiovascular indication. So that should be one of the very important take-home message. Beta blockers can be given for CAD, CHF and other cardiovascular concerns, and probably it will improve mortality in those subgroup of the patients. Beta blockers should not be given for the reduction of acute exacerbation of COPD or to block the COPD for the COPD itself. With that, I will say thank you very much.